Hey team, today's project, this Husqvarna chainsaw. It's a 36 with a 14-inch Pro Cut bar. Haven't seen that brand very much. So I got this chainsaw from a friend of mine, a lady that I work with. She's a great chick and we were chit-chatting and she said, hey, I've got some stuff at home. I said, fantastic, bring it in. Get it in and we'll put it on the channel and see if we can't get it going. So thanks to her, that's great. I don't know how old this one is, but it looks like it's done some work. It's got crap all over it. What we need to do first, I haven't even tried to run this saw. I haven't tried to do anything with it. I haven't even pulled it over. What I'm gonna do first is go and give it a pressure wash because it's absolutely horrid. A quick blow off, it already looks like a much better saw that's in much better shape and it's been loved. Don't be afraid to give your saws a good old wash down. So again, I haven't even pulled the ripcord on this saw. We're gonna do it together and find out. She's had a bath. Here we go. First thing, does it have compression? Yeah. Engines need the 4 basic things to run, and we cover this all the time, but it's the way to do your fault finding in your mind. Compression, fuel, air, and spark. So, compression, we did a bit of that. Okay, do we have a reading and have we put a gauge on it? No, but I'm pretty damn sure it's gonna be pretty close. Fuel's next. All right, wind this cap out. There we go. That's interesting. I'll bring these over for a closer look. So you can see one of our main problems straight off is that the fuel filter is just plain old disconnected there, which is very interesting. But the fuel tank is really, really clean. Right, so I'm just gonna get this fuel. There we go. This is the weighted fuel filter. Now I can see a bit of hose on there. That hose is just plain snapped off. So I've got something there, we can do that. Now we need a tub here. We're off to a good start. Watch it. I gotta be honest with you, one of the cleanest fuel tanks on an old chainsaw I've ever seen. I'm shocked. Excellent. I don't know if they're captive on the Husky. Okay. Dead set had a hard life under there. Go a bit of carby cleaner. We'll leave the air filter on. Let's give this a good old, oh yeah, look at it. It's clean up already. We'll give that a bit of a degrease while we're at it. What we will do to lighten the load a bit, which I normally do first, is take off this chain, the bar and chain, and we'll blap that off. There we go. Get rid of those. Whoa, nearly lost him. Put that over there. Moment of truth under here. Ooh, that will need a degrease. And a clean off with the gurney. Tickling that chain off. Chain's not in too bad a shape. We'll leave that aside for now. Bar is in really good nick. It's like new. It's brand new almost. It's still got the paint on where the chain runs. That's a brand new bar. Let's just get our raker here and find out. Yeah, there's nothing in there. Absolutely nothing. Just a bit of oil. So it's done next to no work, which is good. The chain's old. I could tell the chain, they might have needed a sharpening lesson because the chain was sharp, the teeth were sharp, but not the raker gauge hadn't been adjusted very well. The kill switch wire was disconnected, which is interesting. I'm gonna take the air filter off. It's just a bit of cleaner, blow it off. You saw there I was careful not to blow like right in the mouth of the carby. Okay, and sometimes I even blow upside down. I'm gonna blow this filter out backwards because I don't have a spare one. Oh, that's had a hard life. That's fighting me all the way to the very end. There we go. Gently take that plate off. It's pretty cranky in the back there. I'm paranoid about getting stuff in the carby here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put the choke all the way on so it shuts the butterfly. Hold a clean doubled over piece of rag over the carby while I clean it because I don't want anything to go in there. Oh yeah, that's looking good. Right, that's cleaned that off. Just gonna take these 2 screws out here that hold this retaining plate in that's on the carby. There we go, so we've popped that clutch lever off. clutch lever, choke lever that holds the carby in. I think I can get to this one with this one. Yeah, here we go. There we go. That's coming all the way out. Put that in there. There's that retaining plate. We'll just leave those two together. Now the carby can start to come out. There we go. All right, so you can get that off without having to do that. Now, I noticed that the fuel line here on the top was corroded. Right, I could see that and I knew it was missing. So that's actually probably one of the main reasons why this carby, this chainsaw wasn't working. That fuel line is just so perished, which happens all the time. I see that so often. You can see this little hole here where that fuel line came out, and it comes up and then goes into the top of the carby. If I shine a torch into the tank, you can see the hole down there. There you can see the hole that fuel line comes out of. Okay, I've got a bunch of different sizes here. Oh, there's plenty of different sizes of fuel line, and I'm never 100% sure which one is exactly which. So this multi-pack is like 4 different pieces. So I'm tipping it's this narrow one here. Yeah, look at that. It's a mint color too. What I normally do is cut like a real point on these things to get it into the tank. So I'm talking like a pretty decent point, right? Now, I'd normally do that with my side cutters, but Lord knows where my side cutters are. So it's almost like that one little piece is going to be able to go down and stab into the tank. Okay, now we can see if we can see it in the fuel tank. Yep, I can see it in the fuel tank. Now I'm going to try and grab it with the pliers. Okay, I've got a good hold of it. Oops. Spoke too soon. There we go. Come on, come on. Yeah, nice. It's pulling through. You can see how that fresh hose makes that seal on the hole, the fuel filter. I don't know if I've actually got the right one here for this saw. What about this one? Yep, that'll do. Right, that's on there. That's not coming off. Straight back in. Pull a little bit of that line. There we go. Just get that line back in a nice spot. We'll put that aside for now. But what I just want to do is, because where that fuel line went was exposed, I just want to make sure that we blow that out and there's no gunk in there. So what we've got is we've got ourselves a nice place to work. We've got our Phillips head screwdriver here. Take that off, the top part off first. And if it's fairly clean inside, we won't do the other side. So there's the... Oh, horrid. So this is what happens when you don't have a fuel filter on because it's fallen off. Look at all that sawdust and crud in there. That is just crazy. So we're going to clean that out. You can see it's just dead set, like a bunch of sawdust, which is mental. So, and then look, it would even be under this here. It'll be on there. Look, you can see it on that there. So that is just, yeah, that's wild. So that's pretty crazy that all that's there. Like, I mean, honestly, wow. What we're gonna do is we're just gonna try and tip a lot of that out that way. And then I'll just try and, you know, you really don't want to be trying to shove it or anything. I almost can't believe that. That's one of the worst ones I've ever seen. It's just been run without, dead set without a fuel filter for since a long time. Here we go. There's that little screen in there, so it's like a little gauze screen, and that's what's protected the carby, which is excellent. It's going to blow this in here. Yeah, excellent. It's this hole here. Right, free. That's free. That's free. That's free. It's going to try and clean this off. Nice. Is there any gunk under there? Not particularly. Good. Gonna blow that off. very gently with the carb blowing now. All right, just going to get rid of some of that gunk. Nice. Going to put that back on there. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. You know, I don't want to take this off, don't want to take that off. I just want to be as economical as I can with this thing and not take it down too far. Nice and tight there. Now we can take this side off. Now, there's not going to be much we can do about this. We're just going to take it off and have a quick sneak peek. There's a bit of crud in there. It's amazing how that crud. I'm just going to, yep. Going to sneak that off. Sometimes they stick, sometimes they don't. Sometimes I get a razor blade under there and, you know, try and get it to pop off. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, clean. Carby cleaner. It's pumping. Blow. Very gentle. That surface is clean. We're not going to do too much more. Mysteriously work out which way this goes again. Not a lot of different ways it can go. Just make sure. I've had these where I've really haven't paid that good of attention, haven't paid that much attention, and then all of a sudden it's on the wrong way. Nope. There's not a lot left to be done there. Yeah, because it's got that notch in there. It's got that little tab in there that goes in that hole. There's no other way around you can put it, which is very clever from the engineers. Now we're putting this back in here. And that's our carby, good to go. You see how these things, you just gotta, you know, just have a look. Jump in and have a look, don't be afraid of it. All of a sudden we found, well, the only real problem was the fuel pickup wasn't on, and it picked up a bunch of shit, but the screen stopped it, and the fuel line needed to be replaced. And that's why the fuel filter fell off. Look at that, that's beautiful. I wouldn't do any more to that, I'll just keep it clean. Then what I'll do is I'll just wrap this in a bit of paper, just so, because I'll, you know, carrying on around here doing all sorts of stuff, and we don't want to get it, don't want to get crap all over it. Great. Pack this up. Look at all the stuff that was in that carby. I can't believe it. That's incredible. That's just from the fuel tank. That's one of the worst ones I've seen in a long time. Inside a carby. We're cracking on. We're back to the fuel line. Just going to blow that pulse line out down to the crankcase. Yeah, good. Okay. Carby on where it should go. Making sure that fuel line is kind of out of the way down here. So we're through the base plate and we're winding into the cylinder head now. There's 2 screws that screw that retaining plate down, and we need to pick up the kill wire. The kill wire ground, which is just there, which we've done. I'll pick this one up and then I can go back and tighten the studs that hold the carby down. Nice. Excellent. That's how much fuel line there's going to be. I'll give it a bit extra just for now. Snip that on that little nipple there. Get on as much as we can. Need to make sure we put our throttle linkage on. There we go. That's in there. That's working. I like it. Now we've got our choke, and I'm using a screwdriver just to lever that into place. Excellent. Choke. Choke's working. That's working. I'm assuming the on-off switch is working. Putting this plate back on. Fuel filter back on. Beauty. Spark plug spanner. Pretty cranky old spark plug by the looks of it. Yeah. A little bit of emery paper. Get that in the gap there. Cleaner on there. Oh yes, cranky old thing. So we're just going to nip that back up. Cool. Spark plug lead back on. Here's one I prepared earlier. Now, I mix a 50-1, just in general. Make sure you fill this a fair way up, so we make sure there we go, it's 3/4 full. So we're making sure that pickup is actually getting in a spot where I can pick up fuel. So the Husky, that stop is this way, on is this way. Full choke. Moment of truth. It's probably going to take a little while because it's brand new fuel line. However, and a new fuel filter, but we'll just give it a good old couple of yanks and see what happens. Sounds good. Sounds like good compression. Oh, the throttle linkage. It's having a hard time. Okay, we're full choke still. Nothing wrong with it, Kirsty. There was something wrong with it. The fuel line was busting, the carby was gunked up, and the fuel pickup was off. Nice. Love the sound of some of these old Huskies. They're great. They're just, you know, they've got a great little sound. It's got a good little pop to it. There is nothing wrong with that saw. It's feels like it's got good compression. I don't even reckon it needs a tune. Let's put the cover on. I'm going to go wash this cover, and I'm going to go wash this. I'll be back in 30 seconds. Okay, I mean, this is an old saw, but it's, you know, it's got my vote. I'm not even going to tune it. I can see the sprocket. The sprocket's heaps worn. Crazy worn. But we're not going to worry about that today. We're going to put this bar back on, which is cool. Just like that. Then we're going to put the chain on, make sure it's going in the right direction. I think so. There we go. Pull up that tight. That's nice. So I'm just going to I'm backing that tensioner off. And then that will allow me to adjust the bar just like that. I can put these nuts on. What I'll do, that's even sitting better. That was kicked out before at the back. I think there was so much gunk under there, or something just wasn't quite right. Then we'll start to tension the chain. Out she comes. Lighten the load here a little bit. Just as we're getting tight, I'll just pull the chain to make sure it's running nice. Yeah, it is. That's running great. Just as we go, a little bit more, a little bit more. Nice. Let's throw some bar oil in it. Oh, these old Husqvarna things are just the worst. Okay. Oh, it's got oil in it. That's fantastic. It's a bit manky, but I think it's fine. We're going to leave it in there and see if it oils. Let's do it. I'm just going to try without the choke on and see what happens. Electrical fault, and now the off switch won't work. Huh? See, it was like cutting in and out, so that's one of a couple of things. It's the coil or some sort of electrical type problem. It was really, now I'm in a bit of a hurry here, so I started pinning it a bit early, but yeah, look at that. You can see there that kill switch came off, and it was grounding out on the chassis. So it's worn through and melted a little spot. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bend that ever so slightly. If I can find something to bend it with, so that it really presses on. And I mean, you know, I was pinning it, like, okay, I wouldn't be that, you know, wouldn't be that mean to a saw on any other day, but we're really Just gonna crimp that a bit so it's hard to push on, so it won't fall off. Woo, she's hot. Happy days, turn the saw on. That idle's nice now. Oh, beautiful. So it's doing the same thing, but the stop button works now. So I'm gonna be thinking it's the coil. But let's just see if we've got another spark plug. Oh, nah, found it. Look at that spark plug lead there. Completely chopped through. It's been wearing on something. So whether or not that's earthing out, I don't know. What we're gonna do is we will wrap a bit of tape around it and go from there and see if that improves. If not, we're gonna have to make another plan there. So some electrical tape. Now, this may not be the complete fix for it, but I guarantee you that it'll be better than it not having tape on it. And you would argue that any spark plug lead with a nick in it, right down to the wire, is not gonna be doing its job properly. So we may be able to get a new cheap coil online, I don't know. If this doesn't fix it, I'll do that anyway, and I'll show you the process of changing the coil, because that'll be a fun little video. But for now, I'm just gonna tape the daylights out of this. You could also use heat shrink. Heat shrink would be good, because you know it's gonna get hot in here, but you know, I don't know what this good electrical tape's rated to. You'd think it'd be 100 degrees or so. Some sort of standard. Okay, that's that. The rest of the cable seems to be fine. It's in that sheath. I'm gonna put that clamp back on. That goes there. Yeah, that's nice. That's much better. Okay, cover off. Let's see how we go now. Earth lead stayed on really nice. On. Okay, I think it may have been a bit of a carby issue. That lead having a nick right down to the wire is not good. But hey, I don't think we should overcapitalise. The chainsaw runs, it stops, it runs consistently. I think it was a little bit of right at the high end there. It looked to have cleared itself when I was running it. Then it was running pretty fine. Just right at the top end, it would just cut. So, but I think it's resolved itself. So again, we're not going to overcapitalise. It's oiling like an absolute champion. What we will do is just give these raker gauges a little tickle for our friend, because I think they're just a little high. So just going to give it 2 on each one. 1, 2, 1, 2. I'll just check that. Yeah, much better. That's like 1/2 mil at most, but it was almost touching. You'll see on the rakers, I'm going on the one that's on the far side. I'm not doing the one makes that horrid noise. I'm doing the one on the far side, right? And there's one here. There you have it, folks. The Husqvarna 36 chainsaw. It's been a great little project. What we found was the fuel line had corroded and perished over time, and we also found that led to the fuel pickup being off, and then it had sucked up. You saw all that junk that had sucked up into the carby. We also found that there was a nick in that the kill wire was off for the off switch, and that there was a nick right down to the wire just from vibration in the spark plug wire. It could probably do with a new spark plug and a new coil, but I think would argue it ran up straight away once we cleared that carby out and once we got the switch working. I gave it a little bit of a tune there, but it wasn't even really necessary. Once it got warmed up, it ran like a champ, and I got no doubt that this saw been a good old Husqvarna, we've given it a new lease on life. So thanks for Kirsty and her hubby for giving us the saw. It's been a great project. We'll get this back to her. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Happy projecting.